Personal Communication Service. Personal Communication Service or PCS is referred to as Studio Wireless Service. The FCC has defined PCS as radio communication that encompasses mobile and fixed communication to individuals and business that can be integrated with a variety of competing networks. PCS refers to integrated networks as the ability to connect to PSTN, Wi-Fi, and worldwide interoperability for microwave access or WiMAX systems. This can be anything from point to point to for cellular access. Some other ways to define that mobility of PCS networks. Personal mobility, the ability of users to access any telecom service at any terminal based on personal identifiers, the network's ability and user profile. Terminal mobility, the wireless subscriber unit's ability to access services from different locations while in motion. Service mobility, the use of vertical features provided by landlines user at remote location or while in motion. PCS refers to services that are user specific as opposed to location specific. PCS is referred to as follow me services. PCS was the first wireless network from its inception. Upon obtaining a license, PCS carriers were allowed to choose their air interface. Thus, we have TDMA, CDMA, and GCM carriers. PCS uses the same type of equipment that cellular services use, with the difference being that more PCS-based stations are needed to cover the same geographic area. There are two types of PCS services, narrowband and broadband PCS. Narrowband using the 3 radio spectrum was used primarily for data transmission. This service were paging and short message system. Broadband PCS is used for multimedia transmission such as voice, data, internet, SMS, image, and in the future full motion video. This obviously requires more channel capacity and is set aside on the 140 radio spectrum. The major carriers include AT&T, Singular, Verizon Wireless, T-Mobile, Sprint PCS, Altel Mobile, and US Cellular.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, classmate, and our partner, Miss Rosalie Macdon Romil. And this is our topic for today is about personal communication satellite system. So, what is satellite system? Satellite system, it means artificial body to place the orbit around to Earth to another planet in order to collect the informations or for communications. What is communication satellite? A communication satellite is basically to electronic communications to package to place an orbit in order to Earth in order to relay to televisions, radios, and telephone signals. And they are the history of personal communications satellite system. There are one is a space age began in 1957 with the USSR launch of first artificial satellite so-called Sputnik, which transmitted to elementary informations for 21 days. To achieve was the follow in 1958 by the American artificial satellite score. Third, the satellite were deployed in 1960 to reflect satellite called Echo and Carrier was particularly significant and because it is recorded a message that called play back later. Fourth, in 1962 to achieve communication, satellite called Telstar and Relay were deployed and the first geometry functionality and satellite called SciComm and launched in 1963.
And the picture shown You can see the satellite history.
How satellites are used? First one is service. Second is fixed service and satellite. And there are examples of fixed service satellite are PowerPoint, point-to-point communications. Third is broadcast service satellite, and there are examples of satellite television and radios, and also called direct broadcast and service DBS. And fourth is mobile service satellites and MSSS. They are example of satellite phones. How do satellites work? First one is two stations of the Earth want communications through radios and broadcast but are the too far away to use conventional means. Second, and the two stations can be used as satellite radio stations for their communications. Third, when the Earth station proceeds and transmissions to satellite, this is called uplink. Fourth, the satellite transponder and converts signals in seeds and down to the second Earth station. This is called downlink.
As you can see on the picture shown below, Earth Station 1 is transmitted to satellite is called uplink. And the transmitted to the satellite sent back to the Earth Station 2, it's called downlink.
The elements of satellite communication system. There are two major elements of satellite communication system. They are space segments and ground segment. Space segments is satellite itself known space segments and comprise complex structure to have some and a major subsystem like TTC system and transponder, fuel tank, tank and antenna control system, etc. Ground segment. It is the network Earth and stations user terminals that provides application that service to end user.
Application of communication satellites. Number 1. Internet of Things or IoTF. Satellite technology has pivotal role in driving the growth momentum behind the Internet of Things and unblocking the promise of interconnection devices. Environmental management. Environmental monitoring satellites carry highly sensitive images and sounders to monitor the Earth's environment like movement and information of clouds, ocean temperatures, glacial movements. Large-scale computers use this data to model the entire Earth atmosphere and create weather forecasts. O ginagamit din po siya sa weather forecast man tayo. Disaster management. Satellites are used in disaster for communication, remote use, sensing, and mapping. In disaster, the destroy local infrastructure, satellite communication are the only option for getting information out quickly. Television and radio broadcast. A single satellite provides several hundred of TV channels to an entire country or continent. Television and radio broadcast. Satellite broadband. Satellite broadband is very similar to dish TV. It receives information to a small dish and transfer the information via a cable connected to a modem in our house. In addition, satellite broadband also send out information to the satellite, so we have a fast two-way broadband communication connection. Military communication requires secure links with high flexible coverage, which is provided by communication satellite. Efficient, rapid, and above all secure communication are paramount importance in today's military operation. Stage of satellite. The advantage of satellite communication over terrestrial communication are the coverage area of satellite greatly exceeds that of terrestrial system. Transmission cost of satellite is independent of the distance from the center of the coverage area. Satellite-to-satellite communication is very precise. Higher bandwidths are available for use. Disadvantage of satellite. The disadvantage of satellite communication, launching satellite into orbit is costly. There are large propagation delay in satellite communication than in terrestrial communication. Repair of satellites is almost impossible once it had launched.
First generation analog cellular telephone. History. Nippon Telephone and Telegraph, or NTT, in Tokyo started the first commercial analog cellular system on December 1979. In 1981, the commercial Nordic mobile telephone, or NMT system, was started in the Nordic countries. Although there was an advanced mobile phone service, or AMPS, the system operating in 1979. The first commercial AMPS system was not introduced in the United States until 1983. By the 1985, a commercial tax system began in the United Kingdom. Since their introduction, the first generation analog cellular technologies have evolved to provide higher system capacity and advanced features. The first generation of cellular system used analog radio technology. Analog cellular system consists of three basic elements: a mobile telephone or mobile radio, cell sites, and a mobile switching center, or MSC. A basic cellular system in which a geographic service area, such as a city, is divided into smaller radio coverage area cells. A mobile telephone communicates by radio signal to the cell site within a radio coverage area. The cell site is base station, converts the radio signals for transfer to the MSC, or mobile switching center, via wired landline or wireless microwave communication links. The MSC routes the call to another mobile telephone in the system or the appropriate landline facility. These three elements are integrated to form a ubiquitous coverage radio system that cannot connect to the public switch telephone network, or PSTN. This is the picture of analog cell phones. 1G. Analog cell phones began with 1G technology in 1980s. 1G is the first generation of wireless cellular technology. 1G supports voice-only calls. 1G is analog technology and the phones using it had poor battery life and voice quality, little security, and were prone to drop calls. The maximum speed of 1G technology is 2.4 kilobits per second. This is the picture of the analog cellular system, or how it works.
Digital circular telephony. Learning objectives. Describe the application that can be used on a digital circular telephone. Explain how circular telephony functions.
List and describe the features of the generation of cellular telephony. List and describe the four types of clean software used on digital cellular telephone. Discuss the issues surrounding 3G implementation. Although commonplace digital cellular telephony is most competitive and complex of all wireless telephony. Variety of competing technologies such as GSM and CDMA 2000 IXEVDO rather than single standard. Competing research push us a specific technology. Governments have even actioned a part of wireless spectrum of high speed applications. New and expanded features and applications are pushing wireless digital cellular network via just voice communications. Digital cellular telephony can be used for internet access, email, video conferencing, and running a variety of programs. Short messages services Short messages services delivers text-based messages up to 160 characters directly between wireless devices without using the internet. SMS is popular in Europe and Japan with over 200 billion messages sent annually. SMS is slow in reaching the US because of proportion of other wireless digital alternatives. How cellular telephony works. Two keys to cellular telephone networks. Coverage area is divided into cells, each with a cell transmitter connected to base station that in turn is connected to mobile telecommunications switching office (MTSO). See Figure 8.1. All the transmitters and cell phones operate at low power level to prevent signals from interfering with other cells that may use same frequency. See Figure 8.2. Circular network. Example. Figure 8.1 circular network. Frequency reuse. Figure 8.2 frequency reuse. Circular telephone codes. Special codes are associated with cell phones. Codes identify phone's owner and carrier or service provider. Table 8.1 summarizes the codes. Circular telephone codes. Circular telephone handoffs and roaming. When telephone user moves within same cell, base station handles transmissions. Handoff is when user moves to another cell and is automatically associated with base station of the cell. Roaming is when user moves beyond coverage area or inter-circular network into remote area, as seen in Figure 8.3. Network in remote area contacts home network to verify that user can make calls and is charges appropriately. Hands off and roaming. Figure 8.3. How a cellular phone receives a calls. Cell phone listens of SID transmitted by base station on control channel. If SID matches that programmed into phone, cell phone transmits registration request to base station that MTSO uses. If said does not match, cell phone is roaming and MTSO of remote network contacts MTSO of home network to confirm SID is valid. MTSO locates phone and select frequency which is sent to phone over control channel. As user moves to engage of cell base station, coordinate through MTSO and instruct phone to charge frequencies as it is handed off the another cell. See Figure 8.4. Receiving a call. Digital circular telephony. citing since the early 1980s in the United States. Cellular telephony is divided into several generations. First generation, second generation, 2.5 generation, third generation. First generation, IG use analog signals and has 9.6 kHz maximum transmission speed based on advanced mobile phone service AMPS. IG use 800 900 MHz frequency. Each channel is 30 kHz wide with 45 kHz passband. 832 frequencies are available with 790 used for voice traffic and 42 for control channel. These frequencies are split between two players in each market. First generation AMPS US frequency divisions multiple access as illustrated in figure 8.5. User is allocated single channel at a time and is switches to another channel if original one destroys on the interface. IG networks use circuit switching technology. Because analog signals are prone to interface, 1G is used basically for voice. It has been replaced with improved digital technology. Thank you.